Good afternoon, traders. This is the Working Day Trader. I am Troy, your host. It is 3:44 p.m. on the East Coast on 8/23, and doing this video a bit early today because, well, I have something to do, and I can't wait till after the market closes. But I'm pretty well done, and it was a big mover today. Uh, Kudos to you if you were able to take advantage of all of that action. I was not, unfortunately, but there'll always be tomorrow. So thank goodness for that. I did have some news that came through today that sort of moved the markets a bit here in the U.S. session. We had flash PMI or flash services PMI and flash manufacturing PMI. All enough, both came in lower than expected, but initial reaction on the news sent the market rallying up 122 ticks in the first 5 minutes, about 385 ticks in the first 15 minutes. Because I was sitting on the sidelines for the news, I missed all that move, unfortunately. Just couldn't find a good spot to get in. I kept waiting for the market to give me a spot to pull back and get on the train, but it did not give it to me. At 10 o'clock, Europe had some consumer confidence numbers released. I'm not sure that had a tremendous move in the market other than to push it up even higher, even though it was a lower number. I think maybe that was more of a currency play, but that did come in at the 10 o'clock hour. And those were the only 2 or 3 real news events we had for the day, other than new home sales, which generally is kind of a low market event. New home sales were up, though, by a few thousand. It's 714,000. And so that was the move for today. I'm just going to cover the trade that I was in and the trade that I should have been in today. And hopefully you were too. Man, it was a awesome move. And I was sick almost immediately that I did not get to participate in it. But I didn't have the setup to get in. I didn't want to get in late. And unfortunately, any time would have been good. But I was worried about being late to the party, and it overall missed the big move. So let's take a quick look at it. So you can see here we are looking at a 5-minute chart on the NQ. I'll bounce back out here just for 1 second to the daily. Notice if you watched yesterday's video, I talked about this area here. Here was our Monday and our Tuesday, this green candle followed by this red candle here. Sort of a pin hammer, if you will, that's made a high here on Tuesday. And we talked about the market either setting a low for the week on Monday or Tuesday or a high for the week, and that we could just bounce around inside this range until we find a direction. Well, we found the direction. We broke out of the range over the high from Tuesday with authority. As you can see, this big green candle, really nothing standing in the way of the market hitting 15,280. My guess would be in the overnight session tonight sometime, if not tomorrow, and ultimately targeting this high of the week of last week that you see here at 15,335, and we'll see where we'll go from there. So this ultimately is going to be, I think, a key point of interest, drawing price action up there over the next couple of days, but we'll have to wait and see. Like I said, nothing really standing in the way of another 60 to 80 points here to get that up there to 15,280 though. Well, here's how it's set up on the overnight. We have a little small range that you can see here in the Asian session. The market did keep putting in some new highs as London opened. We broke into some newer highs, trending up. But you can see at the tail end of or midway through the London session, the market pretty well trended all the way back down to this Asian open down here, setting up for a big run to the upside. Now, if you look at it on a smaller time frame, if we get down, let me get down to back to the 5-minute, and here's what I was looking at as the market opened today. So let's see. Here is the 7:30 hour. You can see we put a peak bottom in right here, another one here around 8:40. So it looked like the play was looked like the bottom, the low was going to be in place already at the 8:30 hour. How I missed that is beyond me. but I did. We were making lower lows inside of this range, which ultimately, I guess in my mind, I was thinking at this stage, maybe we're looking at sort of a pump and dump action. So I was kind of initially biased to the downside and a break of that downside, even though it had moved up in the first two sessions. But if we carry along, you can see here just right at the market open, here is that 930 candle. Market spiked up. It puts in a pretty good opening 5-minute range. And almost immediately on the very next candle, this is the trade I actually took. I faded out of that range. You can see it spiked up, and I actually was on a 1-minute chart looking at this and was able to short it here. You can see there's my sell trade all the way back down here to the almost to the bottom of that 5-minute range for a nice trade. I mean, it was over in a couple of minutes. Got some nice profit out of it, but I ultimately misjudged the move. What we were doing in reality was we were making higher highs because we were moving into this US session inside of this range here, which was not a pump and dump, but really more of a dump and pump. So it was going the other way. We had two spike lows put in here, followed by one more move down. There was your dump, and then ultimately your pump almost immediately, and it rode that major mega wave up, and there was just no place for me to get in. It didn't pull back. I kept looking for a pullback. I was looking for 15,120, which would have been the high from yesterday's session, I believe. Yep, right here, 15,118, 15,120 to get in. It never gave me that. I just kept waiting, and ultimately it started to track inside of this range for the rest of the day. And you can see here it's still inside of that sort of channel pattern. It kind of looks like maybe a little head and shoulders setting up right here on this, but ultimately we might see a little spike down in the overnight, but I think we're probably more than likely going higher as we move into tomorrow, just based on this price action and what we're seeing on this daily chart with these really strong impulse moves up. And it looks like the market at least wants to try to test that high from last week at 15,335. But there was your trade. And if you're looking for a setup, it's always easier in hindsight, but you got this down move, you get market puts in two lows. We started making higher highs. You can see here, I drew this after the fact, high. There was my rundown for my dump. And as soon as I got price action up, I should have been all over that breakout right there on that 5-minute range at 15,039 with that reversal candle and just all the way up. It was a handsome of a trade you could have been in. So hopefully you were able to take advantage of that. I was not, but there will always be tomorrow. Thank you for checking out the channel. If you're liking what you're seeing here in these market recaps, go ahead and give me a subscribe or like these videos. You can also check me out on TikTok and Instagram. It's at Working Day Trader. There is no A, no E in trader. So at Working DAYTRDR on X, Instagram, and TikTok. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.